And they deal with it in two ways. You know, they ignore it or they get mad. You know, that's the two things that they do all the time. People they oh, don't talk about that. That's not something to talk about. Or they get mad and they kind of like they feel like they're backed in a corner or something. They feel like we're just pecking at them. But we just want you guys to understand like what we went through and why we're like this. Like why we kind of throw the shoulder up because we don't like because you're coming at me. Meanwhile, we're just trying to be friends. But something that, like you said, like we were talking about earlier, is self-identification. You know, that was your ancestor. Maybe it was your ancestor who did all these bad things, but that's not who you are, right? So it's just like coming to terms with today and yesterday. You know, learning from the past will be your success to the future, and that's something that we all have to do.
What do you feel are the biggest misconceptions that people have about Aboriginal culture?
Misconceptions is in like some of the things that like we do every day, or like.
Or just in terms of what Aboriginal culture is, like they sort of, you know, it's like I've heard some people make the comment, "Oh, you're Aboriginal, so you get a tax break." You know, those types of misconceptions.
Okay, so the misconceptions would be like tax exemption, free gas, like free cheese.
Free cheese?
Yeah, over in the States actually they get like food, like they get all these different, like they get free cheese. I forget exactly what it's called, the terminology, but they do get food for free and all that sort of thing, and noodles and that stuff. There's free gas, you know, tax exempt.
Free school.
Free schooling, yeah. But this, one of the things you have to realize there is we like made treaties so that we could do all these things.
Yes.
You know, like you look at what you have a piece of land to live on, you have a roof over your head, you have water to drink, you know, these are the things that we gave you. You know, like we gave all of Canada this. And you want to come at me like I can't have some certain things that you can have, and then like, and the Indian Act is so like racial, like it's so racist because it's actually in Canada and the United States are the only countries in the world that seclude another race of people and have them abide by certain rules. Yeah, no other country in the world does that.
No, I didn't know. Australia.
Well, maybe for their Aborigines, but yeah, those three, yeah. But other than that, no other country ever does that. They don't section off other people to get certain things or to get taken away certain things. You know what I mean? So that's another thing that people need to realize as well. But yeah.
We see things too, like you've probably heard of Shannon's Dream.
No.
Okay, there was a girl from Attawapiskat, who she used to have to go away to school, and she was trying to have the government change it so that the schools would be in good shape, like they're portables and they're in horrible shape, and to also build a proper school there so that the kids could continue to go to school at home instead of having to go off to Thunder Bay. She died. She died in a car accident on the way back home one time. And she even had the representative in the government say, yeah, we're going to work on this. 5 years later, nothing happened, so she went back. 5 years later, it didn't happen. Now she's gone. Is there anything that we can be doing to try and take on the dreams of others like that? Or as white people, do we end up looking, I don't know what to say, looking what, but is that our place to help out? Or is it our place to...
Well, that's a very good question because, you know, you find a lot of First Nations people, they seclude themselves from white people because that's the way that we grew up.
That's
because
right.
we grew up on reservations.
Yeah.
You know, we grew up on reserves.
Yeah.
We don't, like, expect, like, white people to come into the reserve to come help us because they've never done that before. And then, like I said, we, like, kind of throw the shoulder up because there's a trust issue there. You know?
Exactly.
Past generational, you know, effects. So,
so we can just try it.
Yeah. So what I would say is to kind of consult with First Nations, saying like what we want to try to do here is we want to have some kind of sharing with your youth and our youth.
Yeah.
And like you got to understand where we're coming from too, because there's a lot of things in the community that you probably wouldn't even think are happening, but they happen all the time.
Yeah.
And these kids, they grow up a lot faster than like all of you guys probably would. Like, so it's like you're living in two different worlds, even though you're both living in Canada.
Yeah.
The res is a lot tougher, let me tell you.
It is.
Mhm. So it's something that depending on which First Nation it is, because we all have different issues, and learning, like just going there and trying to learn, but you're gonna get a lot of backlash. That's what I would say.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Because we had, and again, because I'm so bad with names, the lady from the chief from that nation came down, and she had
Teresa
this,
Spence?
thank you,
Yeah.
and the not eating, and you know, I felt I wanted to support her, and I know a lot of the kids wanted to as well, and yet.
Well, that was something there that anybody could support, because
Yeah.
people around the world, we were all supporting that.
Yeah.
Like, there was people like mass emailing like other
Yeah.
countries, and like I Don't Know More was everywhere. It was all over the world.
Yeah.
So that's something that like even I Don't Know More. That's something that you can all contribute to, because it's not like any one person is doing it. Everybody's doing it. You know, we are all I Don't Know More. We're all standing up for our rights, and we're all standing up for Indigenous rights. You know, and human rights. So that includes all of you. Right. So I Don't Know More is it's broader than just First Nations people.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. So.
So you feel good about having a one nation, like the government with the APN, the Aboriginal. Ooh. Anyway, all of us together having a government with having an overall chief of the government.
You mean like like AFN? You mean?
AFN.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Like how I feel about having one national chief for
Yeah.
all of it. Well, it's not like up to me.
No, but
mean-
you're part of this.
Yeah, but like, but it's it's already it's like that's a question that's already been answered, because AMC, the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs,
Yes.
they don't follow under AFN.
Oh,
like
they
they're already
don't.
separate. They're already separated
Oh.
from AFN because of the things that happened last December in January.
Oh, okay.
When they were consulting with Mr. Harper and the GG,
Yeah.
they like I don't know. It's like a really
Yeah.
long political
Sorry, yes.
thing that I don't even understand, but like it's something that we all have to look towards. But yeah, AMC they don't like they wrote a really long letter to AFN saying, you know, we don't abide by what you're saying and what you're like. You don't run Manitoba
Yeah.
just
Okay.
because there was political separation. And with everything that was going on in January and December,
Yeah,
there was
indeed,
political
yeah.
separation, so
That's
they
right.
kind of just separated themselves.
Right.
And that's the way, AMC is working towards collecting other tribes for their alliance. AFN, they're just kind of like, AFN actually is just kind of dwindling away, to tell you the truth.
So what are you gonna do?
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to create a youth alliance.
That's
that
cool.
would be something different, right? Than gathering something political.
Yes.
You know, something youth alliance would be a lot better, because then you're starting from the ground up.
Yes.
Because you're not like adults, they're already set in their own way. If you take a youth and you form them to the way that the way that we want to see our future, then that's what we need to create is awesome youth leaders, so that they grow up and into adults being successful youth leaders throughout
So
every
cool. I
nation
love
in
it.
Canada.
Good.
Mhm.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you guys have other questions, Julia?
Oh, I don't know. That's just really cool.
Yeah, and it's something that it's going to take time for us to heal all of the things that happens to First Nations people, but it's all about starting where we all came from, and that's our communities. So we have to start with our own communities, heal our communities first, before we can take it to a broader scale. Before we can take it to a national level. So we have to take youth, form them into successful leaders, take their leadership role into something better in their own communities, so that they can lead their communities out and then make it something national.
And what's your name again? I'm sorry.
Brock Lewis.
Brock Lewis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you introduce yourself to the camera, to say your name and then
Okay.
maybe your nation and
Okay, sure.
just.
Hello, my name is Brock Lewis. I am Ojibwe from Wikwemekong unceded territory.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for everything.
No problem, guys. Yeah, it's, I love sharing. Like it's especially with people who want to hear it. Like that's the best part, because then all you guys will be like, oh, you know what Brock told me one time. First Nations people like to be called First Nations,
Yeah.
and you know you tell them this and ask them this. You know, it's all about asking the right questions, guys. Because if you go out there and you ask like I don't know, like, do you guys have treaty cards or like just like dumb things? Just trying to ask the right questions and you'll get the right answers, and then you'll gain a friendship out of it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, for sure. You guys are all from Ottawa?
Yeah, Orleans.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Suburbs.
Orleans. Right
Yeah,
on.
the
And you guys are
French
like in a
Bears.
group or in a high school or all in the same
All
school?
in high school, yeah. And we have these guys are involved in so many things. It's called Free the Children.
Mhm.
So they gather up. They do all sorts of things. Like they went around at Halloween, Halloween for Hunger, and they picked up a whole bunch of supplies and took those off to the food bank, Ottawa Food Bank. It was amazing how much you guys collected. It really was. And then they'll collect money to send off to. For schools to be built. So right now they're trying to, in other countries like Peru and such, so right now they're trying to get the students to help donate what they can of any change. And then it's with Free the Children, which is, I don't, do you know that?
No,
It's,
no.
it's anyway, it's one of those corporations. It was started by a kid who ended up seeing the need to help others somewhere else in the world, and he realized he had it really good and he wanted to help others. That's what these guys have done. They've raised money for Haiti, like we
For Philippines.
or Philippines rather. I'm a couple of years behind.
But they also have an Aboriginal